Welcome to the Split Virtual Booth. We're a feature delivery platform. I'm David Martin, and this is a short video on the dynamic config feature. Let's take a look at it. To show dynamic config, I'm going to mix in another advanced feature split, multivariant treatments. You may be used to seeing split with an on and an off treatment. This particular split has red, blue, green, and purple treatments. And why might we do this? Well, if I come down to the default rule here and switch from red to blue, for example, watch what happens to the text and the images at the left. They change. We've got a new text and a new image, and that survey link actually changed underneath as well. And we can play this game again and switch to a third treatment. And we could set percentage allocations to these treatments to spread them across our user base. So dynamic config takes things to the next level. Underneath this section called Attach Configuration to Your Treatments, you'll see that this split actually has quite a bit of information prepared. In particular, each treatment comes with a text, an image width, and a survey link. So right now the text for the love says lots of love, but maybe we want to say lots and lots of love. We're making a little copy change that could affect user behavior. As I click Save Changes here, there's no recompile of the application, no redeploy. We're simply using a feature of split to deploy that feature out, and now you can see the text change. We could similarly change the image, and we could change the width of the image. So if we wanted to shrink this down, we could take this to, say, 50% to make the image smaller. And now we're actually having a side effect on the image itself, how it's being presented to the user. So dynamic config is a powerful way for somebody like a product manager or a product owner, or an engineer for sure, to be able to come in and change what's actually happening at the application level. So let's talk a little bit more about what's involved with making this happen for you. If you want to do dynamic config, there is a little bit of planning involved. In particular, the product owner or product manager often wants to have a conversation with the developer when they're ready to put in the split. What do you want to make flexible? In my example, I had some text and an image and some CSS styling that all went into the configuration. You can do anything you want. Once you've decided what variables you want to put into your configuration, you decide on an encoding. I use the key value pairings, but Split allows you to do anything you like that you can do with JSON. So you can have a very rich configuration of as many variables really as you see fit. And finally, how are you going to handle those variables in code? That is primarily a question for the developer. And I can give you a little bit of coaching in that. If we come to my example here, what's happening in Split is actually very standard SDK coding. This is JavaScript SDK. And in particular, when we get an SDK ready or an SDK update event, we know that we can get a treatment from Split. So I am calling get treatment with config. That's the dynamic config treatment option. This is pulling back both the treatment and also in JSON form the configuration that came. That's whether you use key value pairs or JSON, it always comes in JSON to the SDK. So both ready and update handle this with the drawScreen method shown here. The drawScreen method parses the JSON into a local object, and then that local object is what's actually used to set in the DOM the image source, the image width, the text that's going into the page. All of these are being reset from divs that compose the page, which are declared below. So it's actually very straightforward coding to take advantage of dynamic config. Now this example is all about client side. On the server side, you could have used the dynamic config to alter an algorithm, maybe change the number of result set size for it, or any other parameters that you want to pass. It's up to you. This was just a quick view of a specific feature. If you want a more detailed demo, you can schedule with the peeps in this booth. And don't forget to register for a chance to win an amazing work from home kit, including a stand-up desk.